Hello, my name is Russell Myers. Welcome to Issues Unite. Before I start on this today, let me tell you to watch the channel in the next few days. I am going to have a very big announcement coming, but I will put that off till then. I have been warning for years that this has been coming and taking off. Different events that have indicated that this is coming. The dollar is collapsing. And, there have been a number of people that have been saying that this has been happening. And skeptics have been, well, then why hasn't it? Now, I haven't put a real time frame to it, as some people have tried to. I've just been counting off, different events that have been happening that indicated that it was coming and that it is imminent. I run a page on Facebook called The Coming Crash. If you are still on Facebook, then be sure and sign up for that page, The Coming Crash. So why am I saying that the collapse is really imminent? It is here now. It's actually, there are a number of things that are happening. And we brought it on ourselves. It's very obvious. So first of all, we have to explain I have to explain the petrodollar system. The petrodollar system is the main thing that gives the dollar value against other currencies. The more your currency is used in international trading against other currencies as compared to other currencies, the more value your currency has. Even a fiat dollar, even a fiat currency, has to have some kind of value which is backed up by some kind of commodity, some tradable good, which in this case is oil. Since 1974, Saudi Arabia, the largest exporter of oil in the world, has been selling oil exclusively in dollars. And for many years, until recent years, all countries that exported oil sold oil in dollars. This was not any kind of international law, but it's been enforced by the SWIFT system and so forth. Anyway, so the most obvious thing happening right now is that Saudi Arabia is talking with China about selling oil to China in yuan instead of dollars. Well, China buys at least 25% of all the oil that Saudi Arabia produces or exports. But in addition to this, you've got, there's more to this. We've been sanctioning all of these oil-producing countries. You think about so many of the countries that we are sanctioning: Iran, Russia, Syria, Iraq, Venezuela. All of these are oil-producing countries. And so you got all of these countries that have a grudge against the United States, and they're looking for different ways of resolving payment for their oil. The United States has tried to get countries to stop buying Russian oil, and that's not working because Europe cannot survive without Russian oil, gas, and coal. Right? Europe, 40%, 40 to 45% of their natural gas comes from Russia. At least 25% of their oil, 45% of their coal, all come from Russia. Now they are talking about decreasing their dependency on this, but but that's by what, 2027? That's a big if they can do that and move more toward renewables. And there have been problems with that, of course. So anyway, so you got Russia, you got China. India actually increased how much oil they are buying from Russia. Russia is selling oil at a discount at this point. Why? Because the price of oil is arbitrary. It doesn't matter. This is all set by capitalists. They literally make these numbers up as they go. The price of gasoline now is higher than it was in 2008, when the price of oil was actually higher than it is now. How does that work? And, so like I said, it's all made up by capitalists to, rip the consumer as much as possible. So, they have banned Russia from from being able to buy dollars. Now, I've talked about this system, alternate payment system, international payment system that has been developed by China and Russia. All right, so this is an alternative to the SWIFT system, and it's called CIPS. I think it's Cross-Border Interbank Payment System. So the more countries that sign on to this, Russia, China, if India signs on, Middle Eastern countries, Syria, Iraq, Iran, all of these countries sign on, maybe Venezuela signs on, then this is a major blow to the petrodollar. So that means less and less of the dollar gets traded internationally, which causes the value of the dollar to decline. Now, there are people that are going to claim, well, we can produce everything that we need. Well, if we can produce everything we need, then, even if we can, then what we do purchase from other countries is going to cost us more. Okay? Because the value of the dollar drops, so it takes more dollars to buy whatever we're going to buy. And no, we obviously cannot produce everything that we need. It seems highly questionable whether we actually produce as much oil and gas as we need, since we're still importing it. And what happens if we just stop importing oil? Well, that causes a further drop in the trading of the dollar internationally, which is why we have been importing oil, just to prop up how much of the dollar is being traded. This may sound confusing, but this is how the system works. The more it's supply and demand, capitalists mythology. The more that you use, the more that there's a demand for dollars, the higher the value of the dollar is. But if you suppress that demand, then the value declines, and the value of other currencies increases. It's already being talked about that the agreement between Saudi Arabia and China will increase the value of the yuan. So for every bit that the yuan increases in value, the dollar declines in value. So why is this happening? Well, Saudi Arabia is not very happy with us. They have not even, Saudi Arabia and the UAE have not even been answering the phone when Biden tries to call them. That has been in the news. So this is where we're at. The dollar is going to decline, which is going to make inflation in this country go through the roof. And that's been part of what I've been saying for years, that we are going to see double and triple digit inflation. We're already at double digit inflation. It won't take all that much for us to wind up with triple digit inflation. Michael Burry compared where we are at economically to Weimar Germany, where they were just running the printing presses nonstop, and it took a literal wheelbarrow of money to buy a loaf of bread. And that was part of what led to World War II, but no war is going to help us with this. It's not going to increase the value of the dollar. It's not gonna, it won't happen. And if we try, then are our allies going to turn against us? That seems very likely if they see that it's going to impact them and cause the same problem for them when they're already suffering, massive inflation. Anyway, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens within the next few weeks, because the Federal Reserve is also supposed to have their meeting and increase the interest rate. They've already stopped buying assets, mortgage-backed securities, and junk bonds and so forth. They've just stopped. So that doesn't mean that they're selling off anything, but they have stopped buying. And that's a big impact on the stock market. So we're just going to have to wait and see. I actually think their meeting is today. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's keep an eye on it and share this video, talk about these subjects. And if you can, please donate $1 a month to help expand the channel. And I will catch you in the next one.